In the last video, we looked at margin of safety and we looked at how to calculate margin of safety, right? And the margin of safety gave us an idea of how much of risk we were taking or what type of decrease in sales volume we could take and still break even. Is really what it was telling us. The problem with margin of safety is that it only looks at one dimension of the risk. It only looks at how our profitability changes based on the changes in sales volume. But we could also have changes in our fixed costs and our variable costs, and those could affect profitability as well. So, for instance, when we go to the art festival, it could cost us more than $1,500 for our fixed expenses, and so our fixed expenses are higher than expected. Or maybe for some reason our variable costs are more than expected. Maybe we are negotiating with our friend the price we're going to pay for his art prints. He told us that he'll sell it to us for 20, but when it came down to it, he changed it. He had to charge us 25 or something. So that is also a factor of profitability. So in this video, we are going to look at how changes in fixed costs, changes in variable costs, and changes in sales volume affect profitability. And you can run this kind of analysis in Excel. So what I have here is my fixed cost and different levels of fixed cost. I have it if my fixed cost is 1000, if my fixed cost is 1500, or if my fixed cost is 2000. There are these multiple situations that I've given you. And then I have within each level fixed cost, I have a different kind of variable cost. So if my variable cost is 15, 20, or 25 per unit, and I have that for each level of fixed cost. And then I have my sales volume up here. If my sales volume is 50, 100, 150, 200, or 250. And then in this matrix, this shows you what kind of profitability would be given at a particular fixed cost, at a given variable cost, and at a given particular sales volume. So we can see where we are more profitable and where we are not so much more profitable. And to calculate profitability is real simple. It's just profit equals revenue minus variable cost minus fixed cost. So real simple formula, and that's the formula I have used to calculate all these values in the matrix over here. So friends, this value right here, this 1500 right here is calculated assuming the revenue is $40 units times 150 units because I'm in the 150 column. So 40 times 150 units minus my variable cost, which given that is in this row, my variable cost is 20. Now we are selling 150 units, so 20 times 150 minus my fixed cost, and the fixed cost is 1500. And if you work that out, you get a profit of $1,500, and that's what's in the cell. So the same formula is in all these different cells. The matrix right here shows us where we are profitable, where we are not. The zeros right here, these are break-even points. So with different levels of sales volume and different fixed and variable cost structures, you'll see my break-even points change. Now these numbers in red over here, these are losses. So you can see if I only have a sales volume of 50, I pretty much have a loss in every case unless I can get my variable cost to 15 and my fixed cost to 1000, which is pretty hard to do, probably impossible. So I know I have to have sales volume greater than 50, and so you can see that this gives you a better overall idea where the losses are going to occur and where you are safe. If it's anywhere in the black font, you are safe, and if it's in the red, you have a loss. So that's how a matrix like this can be used to make decisions. Um, so let's look at the scenario one. Scenario one says that the marketing department believes that decreasing the sales price to 34 will increase the sales volume to 200 units. The variable cost is 20 and the fixed cost is 1500. So think back to our original problem. Remember we had originally budgeted for this problem, right? We budgeted that we would sell 150 units at $40 a unit. and we budgeted that our fixed cost will equal 1500 and our variable cost will go about to $20 per unit. That's what we originally budgeted, and if all these things worked out, we will end up with a profit of 1500. And you can see the number circled in the matrix over here. This is our original budget. Now in this first scenario, if we decrease our sales price to $34, we are going to increase the sales volume to 200. So increase sales volume by 50. So it seems that it's profitable. We know that in the original budget we were having a profit of 1500. So what's going to happen if we change our sales price and get a higher level volume? Let's look at it in the matrix. Alright, this is our sales price, which is going to change to 34. So I'm going to change this to 34. And since these are all formulas here, I'll recalculate the matrix and then $34. If you sell 200 units, we are going to be looking at this column where we see the 200 unit column. Our variable cost will be 20 and our fixed cost will be 1500. So that's the column over here, fixed cost of 1500, variable cost of 20, and we find this in the matrix. We can see that our profit will be 1300. So decreasing the sales price to 34 isn't a good idea because our profit dropped from 1500 to 1300. So we don't want to decrease the sales price. It's not worth it to get those additional 50 units in sales to 200 units in sales. Now if we don't have the matrix, you can calculate the same thing just using our profit formula. So we know profit equals revenue minus variable cost minus fixed cost. So our revenue under this scenario right here is $34 a unit and we sell 200. And then minus of variable cost, which would still be $20 a unit times 200 units, minus your fixed cost, which is 1500. As you work this out, you get a profit of 1300, which is the same thing the matrix gave us. So you wouldn't have to have a matrix to solve this problem. You'd still be able to see that, hey, if I decrease the sales price to 34, my profit is going to decrease to 1300, which is not a good thing. So the matrix is nice because we can see all the different possible scenarios, but you can just use the formula to figure this out as well. I also have a scenario 2, and scenario 2 says that the marketing department believes that paying an additional 500 for premium booth for this increased sales volume to 200 units. Our sales price is still going to be 40 and our variable cost is 20. So we know that in our original budget, our profit is 1500. So let's see if our profit improves if we pay $500 to get a premium booth. So paying $500 to get a booth at a better location in the art festival surely will make more traffic and more sales for him. And we estimate that if we do this, we'll get our sales volume up to 200 units. So study the matrix and see how this works out. Okay, so my sales price is back to the original budget at 40. And we think that under this scenario, we are going to sell 200 units. So we are going to be in this 200 unit column. And my variable cost is still 20, but my fixed cost is going to go up by 500. So was 1500. So now it's going to be 2000. So let's go to this column right here where my fixed cost is 2000 and my variable cost is still 20. And if you look at the matrix, you'll see under the scenario, my profit would be 2000. So this is a good idea. This looks like it's going to work out well because originally I had a budgeted profit of 1500, but if I pay for this booth, it really will drive the volume up to 200 and I'm going to make 2000 in profit. So it's probably a good idea to pay for the premium booth. So you can see how you can use the matrix like this to make decisions. Now just to show you how you could also solve the same question with just a formula, and so to do that I know that profit equals revenue minus variable cost minus fixed cost. And we know our revenue in this case would be $40 a unit and we sell 200 of them minus our variable cost, which is $20 a unit, times 200 units minus our fixed cost, which went up to 2000. And if you work this out, you get 2000 profit, which is higher than our budgeted profit of 1500. So you can see that you can use this matrix to answer questions like these, or a formula to answer questions like these. But the idea is that you really want to be able to look at now and how changes in volume affect profitability, and how changes in fixed and variable costs affect profitability as well. And the matrix gives you a good way to do that, and it really helps you. It really helps you give a better way of understanding of how safe you are than just margin of safety formula takes into account.